Mademoiselle et ça ce deuxième channel where in Shortyy nous allons parler des toxic things all Haitians have inherited. Now, as Haitians born in Haiti or Haitians born from Haitians that have been born in America or any other country, I feel like we have all inherited some very toxic traits, and now it's time to talk about it. Anything that is said in Creole will be repeated again in English before or after. Please use your context clues. That is how you learn languages. I don't have to put shit on the screen. Pay attention. Now, definitely feel free to comment down below before I get into these or while I talk about some of these, because I don't want to influence a lot of your decisions, okay? But I know a lot of you guys are going to come up with some that I don't say in this video. I'm most likely going to have to do this video in parts. But here's some that I came up with, and definitely my first one has to be filling up your plate when you're hungry, but finishing it all even when you're entirely full. Now, this is something I can say that I've been doing my entire life and is a ridiculously toxic trait. Now, first things first, people get so upset when I say this, but I'm gonna say it. And it has to be said, and honestly, can't no one tell me I'm wrong, because you have to know really about health, logistics, and just plain common sense, right? Haitian food in America, for the most part, and most first world countries, is unhealthy. Haitian food in Haiti is most likely 10 times healthier than any shit that you're gonna get anywhere. Haitian food in America, Haitian food in most first world countries, horrible. It is processed. It is garbage. The salt ain't the same. The sugar ain't the same. The vegetables ain't the same. The meat ain't the same. Garbage, 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 trash. But in America, most of it is caca, processed caca. Even just the way that even the fire, the flames, the gas, the pans, all of it is just garbage, okay? Let me just tell you right now. The food that you get here versus where you get in other countries in general is just not the same. So when we're talking about food in America versus food in Haiti, it's just not the same. This is why people in Haiti definitely are living 10 times longer than in America. This is why when you see people in Haiti are lasting until they're 90, but then, you know, they come here and you're like, what the fuck? How are they dying when they're 60, when they're 70? The food is not the same. All of that unhealthy shit that goes into it is not okay, okay? The it piece itself is already a hell no, okay? All of the vegetables and all of the stuff you see into it may trick you into thinking that, oh my God, this is amazing. But when you think about how much overcooking is done of a lot of these ingredients that goes into the legume, that goes into the viande or whatever the case may be, a lot of the nutrients is cooked out a lot of the shit in the first place. So that's one. A lot of the oil, a lot of the salt, a lot of the vinegar, a lot of that stuff that goes into the food is just ridiculously unhealthy, okay? Let me just say that right off the bat, right? So now let's think about the portions. A lot of Haitian food, we're not eating this shit in just a little ass bowl, okay? A lot of us, nous mettons gros plat manger, and then we're putting like a whole bunch of food on a plate. And let's be real here, since we were kids, what do they tell us? Laver assiette. And they always tell us since we were kids, ou pas lever tout ton temps, ou pas manger tout manger. You're not getting up until you're done eating the entire plate. That is extremely toxic, because you're not supposed to feel disgustingly full. And when you're full, you're supposed to stop eating. But for most Haitians and a lot of foreign people, for the most part, you're going to eat until the food is gone. Because for a lot of Haitians, they're used to not really having food all the time. Not all Haitians, because clearly there's a lot of Haitians that got more shit than us, okay? There's a lot of Haitians eating better than you and I. But for a lot of Haitians didn't come from much. So for a lot of them, they don't know when or where their next meal is gonna come from. So a lot of them come here with the mindset of, you don't know where your next food or your next meal is gonna come from, even though they do, but it's just still an inherited mindset. So they force their kids to eat the entire bowl. Or like even to this day where I'm 26 and I'll sit there like, oh, I have to eat this whole thing. Oh my God, I have to eat it. Oh my God, I feel bad for not eating it. Oh my God, I'm wasting food. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm full. why am I sitting here forcing myself to eat it? It's such a toxic trait, and I'm here to tell you it's okay. You can throw it out. You don't have to eat all the food, guys. Staying in toxic relationships. I already made a video about Haitians being the epitome of struggle up, and I just don't like it. I think it's the most ridiculous thing on earth. If you're in a toxic relationship, leave. I don't give a fuck what the circumstances are, how long you've been in a relationship, what the fuck. Listen, I don't give a fuck. Leave. Haitians really normalize toxic relationships so much that I think it's just ridiculously absurd. Nobody embodies the definition of struggle up more than Haitian people. Like, no one. It's really insane. And I even see it in young people, old people, whatever. And I feel like a lot of us, even young people, I see it happen a lot. And I'm here to tell you, if you are young, okay, for those of you brothers and sisters who are 20s, 30s, even 40s, that are in relationships where, you know, you're not even married yet, especially, and you know your boyfriend, your girlfriend cheating on you, doing all this goofy shit, especially if you don't even have kids yet, and, you know, you're not even married or anything yet, please just leave. Don't waste your time. Don't be like your parents. Don't be like your grandparents. You do not have to accept that shit. You are better than that. You have a future. You have a life. You have so much ahead of you. You do not have to accept that. Okay, do not be like everyone else in your family and everyone else that you see. Don't be like the Haitian songs. They're garbage. These niggas be lying. I don't know why in the Haitian songs they love to act like they love to act like they perfect. Can we please talk about how in the Haitian songs these men be making music as if they're like great, as if they don't be doing bullshit, as if they're like not all married but cheating on their wives at these bal, as if they don't be out here doing all this goofy shit. Talk about some pamene femme no ballon, parce que gou yadap monte, yadap descend. Please, 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 like, come on. Like, listen, I could never ever date a Haitian artist because they be doing too much for me. Like, I can't. If you are in a situation where you know you are being mistreated, you shouldn't be in that situation, just leave. Do not put yourself through that bullshit. You do not have to be in a toxic relationship. A lot of Haitians love to say that stick it through, especially when it comes to women. Let me tell you this right now. My mom is the president of Don't Ever Leave Your Man, Stay With Your Man. Another woman I love to consider a mother figure to me. She's been my doctor and one of my first bosses. She's also the queen of the Stay With Him committee, okay? She's one of those don't ever let another woman take your place since you've been here for so long, okay? She, president, vice president of the Stay With Your Man and Be Stupid committee, okay? Don't ever in your life stay with a man just because of those reasons. Because you're going to be stuck looking dumb and stupid. Don't do it. And then you're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable with wrinkles. And then you're going to be bald-headed. Because both of them ain't got no hair. I'm not joking. I'm not talking shit. I'm dead serious. They both bald-headed. They'll try to say, God doesn't like it. God this, God that. I don't know what type of God these people follow. And I went to Catholic school my entire life. And when I went to church religiously, prayed the rosary regularly, prayed literally daily, I don't remember God speaking to me. I still talk to God, okay? As much as I curse and as vulgar as I am and as much as people think that I'm such a demon and I'm this, that, and the third, I don't know what God these people follow, but I don't remember once God told these dumbasses to ever in my life be dumb for a man and let a man treat them like garbage. I don't know what God that is, but whatever God that is, I don't want to know who he is, and I don't want him to talk to me because whatever God they follow, it ain't the right one. I'm confused. I don't know what scripture it says, be dumb for a man. And if the man cheats on you, you shall stay. If the man treats you like garbage, you shall stay. If the man is not good for you, you shall stay. You shall be a dumb bitchish. I do not ever see that. I never seen that scripture in the Bible. Okay, I never seen it in Luke, John, Psalms, Revelations, none of it. So someone needs to tell me where that scripture is, because when no New Testament, Old Testament, none of the Testaments. I've even looked up the lost books and the left out books of the Bible. Never seen it. Long story short, do not let people disrespect you. Choose your own path that serves positivity being brought to you, serves you being treated fairly and with respect at all times. Of course, that brings me to my next point because it kind of ties in, and that is tolerating disrespect and being passive aggressive. I feel like Haitians have like a ridiculous habit of being very passive aggressive yet tolerating disrespect. And this goes for a lot of different things, right? I've seen a lot of Haitians do this when it comes to, especially when it comes to like the whole Dominican situation. I've seen lots of documentaries. Like there was one documentary I was watching where it came to like Dominicans disrespecting them at the border when it comes to them selling, when it comes to Haitians selling over there. You know, they would let the Dominicans set up and the Haitians are like, well, you know, it is what it is. You know, we're going to sell anyway. Let them set up. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Let them set up. Like, it makes no sense. But of course, the Haitians will be the first to talk shit about it, right? It's like, why be passive aggressive about it? Clearly, it's something that bothers you because clearly this is a documentary. Now they're letting you talk about it. Why let it slide now? And this is the type of personality they have. And it's not even just that. It translates everywhere. In regards to politics, they'll sit there and they'll be like, this president is garbage. This president is stealing. This president is horrible. We hate this president. We want him out now. And there'll always be that one token person. If you ever see the protests and stuff like that, they're like, you know what? He's stealing money and, you know, we don't really care, but, you know, at least feed us first. And it's just like, but why is that? What the fuck? You should be mad that they're stealing money. And even in person, I've heard people say things like this, like, okay, well, you know, even if that's what you were doing, but at least feed us. Well, okay, you know, you can treat us like garbage, but, you know, at least give us this, at least do that. And it's like, you should care about that. And for a lot of Haitians, I feel like the whole being on survival mode has been something that has fucked us over, because a lot of Haitians are way too content with being in survival mode and taking the bare minimum. And that really hurts us in the end, because a lot of us are very, very content with taking disrespect and just being very passive aggressive and just talking shit instead of actually doing shit. And of course, my last one has to be disrespecting kids. I really do not like when people disrespect kids. It actually really, really grinds my gears. I really feel like this is something a lot of Haitians have inherited, because even like older siblings I see do this. Like I will see like maybe a 10-year-old sister do this to like a 3-year-old brother, or, you know, like a 10-year-old brother do this to like a 4-year-old sister, you know, where they feel like just because they're older, they have the upper hand. So they'll blatantly treat that sibling like a lower class citizen. And I know a lot of you guys are probably sitting there like, well, a lot of brothers and sisters do this. I know a lot of older siblings treat their younger siblings kind of mean, but I'm talking about lower class. I feel like a lot of people in the Haitian community really treat younger kids as second class citizens, as if like they literally should not speak whatsoever. I remember being a kid and being in other kids' presence all the time. And anytime I would go to their house, I would talk. Like, say if I'm just talking regular, like say if it's like me and a friend, like say if this is like me and a friend talking, and like I'm in the presence of an adult. Say the camera is the adult and like we're talking like just low, and you know, guys, you're talking, this is the camera, and you're on the phone and it's like, hush, Timon Papale, grown devil, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, hush, don't talk. You're in the presence of an adult, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a kid, so I can't talk. Like, I'm sure you guys you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's kind of the same equivalence of a lot of like Black Americans or African Americans, where it's like, you know, children should be seen and not heard. I think that's just so disrespectful, especially when it's like, I'm not talking to you when you're talking, so why would you say that to me? It's like, I'm literally in my own conversation. I'm being very quiet. I'm not being rude. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not interrupting your conversation, and you're telling me to hush, be quiet, children should be seen and not heard. Like, it's very weird. But I feel like the way Haitians do it, like, they'll really sit there and be like, get out of my face, you're a child, move. Like, how dare you talk in my presence? Or like I've heard a lot of Haitian grown be like, oh, you know, don't sneeze in my presence, don't cough in my presence, don't be in my presence, don't be in the same, like it's the craziest thing. And it's like, what the fuck type of shit is this? Like, it's supposed to be a kid. Like, I'm a kid. Like, these are children. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like, when you treat kids like that, you essentially kind of make them feel invisible. You make them feel second class. You make them feel really bad about themselves. And I do not think that's okay. I honestly really think that that's very detrimental. I don't know what you think you're accomplishing by making them feel like that. Like, what you think I'm about to feel like when you make me feel like that? You think I'm about to feel happy? You think I'm about to want to be around you? You think I'm about to treat you with any type of respect? And this is where you get that whole, oh, Timunde respect, oh, Timundi si but of course I'm gonna be disrespectful. Of course I'm gonna feel some type of way. Of course I'm gonna respond to you some type of way if that's how you're gonna treat me. You guys are mad disrespectful. And I see a lot of kids do that to other kids now. And I'm like, whoa, like, I remember I was in Kohl's the other day and I literally was witnessing this little girl talking to like her little brother like that. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, the girl's like 11 and the boy had to be like maybe 3 or 4. And she was like, I hate you. Like, I really hate you. Like, you need to get out of my face. Like, you little faggot. Like, bruh, I kid you not. He was like, you faggot boy, blah, blah, blah. Like, I hate you. You're just a little kid. Get out of my face. You're a little kid. It was just so weird because I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, that's still your brother. I was like, hey, I don't even believe in baton. I don't even believe in people beating kids. But the way she was speaking to that little boy in public at that, might I add, was disgusting. And the only reason I knew they were Haitians because she was speaking Creole like that to the kid, saying all of that. And I'm like, this is like really bad. Like, she just kept saying, you're a little kid. Like, you're a little kid. But okay, but why are you talking to me? You're a little kid. And I'm like, but you're a little kid too. Like, it was so weird. And it's just like such an interesting paradox. Like, the whole treating your kids like property situation is also a conversation. Like, a lot of you guys make your kids like slaves, you know. You're expecting your kids to pay bills. You're expecting your kids to do all the household chores, run errands. It's just not okay. A lot of y'all need to do a lot of evaluation because a lot of us are inheriting a lot of the bullshit that you're doing. And I even have to catch myself sometimes, like, oh my God, like, I remember my parents doing this to me, or a lot of my family doing this to me, or other grown around me doing this, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like really, really bad. I don't know, y'all. Like, y'all need to be very mindful because a lot of the things that y'all do and say does translate to your kids. So please be mindful, y'all. Please be mindful. Again, comment down below what are some traits that, you know, all Haitians have inherited or that you've inherited. Definitely going to be doing a part 2 depending on how this one goes. Like, share, subscribe, follow my main channel. Everything you need is down in the description and or the pinned comment down below. And I'm going to see y'all next time.